The Los Angeles Times had original reporting on this. It's about Rick Perry's donors in Texas and what do they get in return. Well, first of all, he got $37 million worth of contributions from just 150 individuals and couples. So it gives you a sense that a small group of people have given a gigantic sum of money to Rick Perry. Now, that happens in politics, the way things are structured now. It's unfortunate. The question is, does he do anything in return for them? The answer is absolutely. Now, it ranges from small, which, you know, is not so small, to gigantic. So let's start with the simple. The Houston-based engineering firm of James Dannenbaum actually gave Rick Perry $320,000. And in return, Dannenbaum was given a coveted post on the University of Texas Board of Regents. Now, that's very important and actually helps with business tremendously in Texas. It's a story we did earlier on the Young Turks, so that's not just a prestige thing, it's also a business thing. But that's just the beginning. Then, Mississippi-based poultry company run by Joe Sanderson gave Perry $165,000, and in return, they received $500,000 grant from a state business incentive fund championed by Perry to open a chicken hatchery and a processing plant in Waco, as the Los Angeles Times explains. So, you give $165,000 to Rick Perry, you get $500,000. Isn't that a great deal? Why do you give it to politicians? Because they triple your money. They go, hey, it's not their money, it's state money, it's taxpayer money. Like, oh yeah, incentives for businesses, no problem. We're just getting warmed up. Point number 3, auto magnate B.J. Red McCombs contributed nearly $400,000 to Perry. And he was the primary financial backer of Formula One racetrack to be built near Austin. And guess what happened? The state pledged $25 million a year in subsidies to support the project. Now, how do you like that rate of return? You give the governor $400,000, he gives you back $25 million in subsidies. That's a pretty good deal, right? See, that's why they buy our politicians. And apparently, Rick Perry loves playing ball. And you see it in case after case after case. Now, let's talk about one of his biggest contributors, because this is a tech study in how you buy a politician and what effects it has for your business, okay? So watch this. It's a guy named Harold Simmons. He's a billionaire out of Dallas. He has a net worth of $5.7 billion, and he is the second largest contributor to Perry, having given him $1.12 million in campaign contributions. By the way, he also gave $3 million to the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth. He claims to be deeply conservative. As you're about to see, he's not at all conservative. He just likes to buy politicians and disrupt the free market for his own benefit, almost totally by his own admission, as you're going to see in a second. So you've got a guy giving over $1 million to Rick Perry. What's he going to get in return? Well, he'd like to build a waste plant in Texas. That's $500 million. Now, you might say, hey, you know what? The guy's building a plant. He gets some sort of break from the government, and Texas gets more jobs. Everybody's a winner, right? And it's not like he could have built it anywhere and been successful. No, that is not how it went down. Here's how it went down. First of all, his business was losing, by his own admission, several million dollars a year. Then he told the Dallas Business Journal, Simmons did, in 2006, that after they got the waste project from the state of Texas, then all of a sudden they had a, quote, fantastic future, okay? That's his quote. Now, look at how the process works. This is the most important part of this. He told the Dallas Business Journal, we first had to change the law to where a private company can own a license, and we did that. Then we got another law passed that said that they can only issue one license. Of course, we were the only ones that applied. Do you understand? What they did was they said, we changed the law so that we can make money off of it instead of the government doing that service for people. And we took a company that was losing several million dollars and turned it into a massively profitable company, and especially because of the second part of the law where we killed all the competition. Free market, we have no interest in the free market. What we want to do is buy politicians for sale like Rick Perry and turn it into profit for us by destroying the free market, destroying competition, and sticking the taxpayers with a bill. That's how it works. Now, it's not just Rick Perry that was involved here. You also had people who were supposed to regulate to make sure that the plant was safe. Well, it turns out they had a team of geologists work on it and engineers for 3 years. And in 2007, they concluded it has the potential to contaminate the groundwater and it should not be approved. Okay, well, they stopped it. The process worked, and it turns out it was going to be unsafe. Of course, that was not the end of the equation. In fact, the agency director, Glenn Schenkel, said, yeah, I don't think so. I think the project is approved anyway. Now, are you ready to find out where Glenn Schenkel works right now? You're going to be shocked to find out. Yes, he works for Simmons Company, WCS. They hired him to be a lobbyist right after he approved their project, which a team of scientists studying for 3 years said was not safe. But who cares? Schenkel got paid, Rick Perry got paid, our system got bought, and now you might have a really hazardous toxic waste dump in Texas, but hey, a couple of people got rich off of it. By the way, in case you're not sure how unsafe that is, one of the guys who worked on it, in fact, 3 of the guys who worked on it quit in protest because they were outraged by that decision. Here's what one of them said, Glenn Lewis, quote, "This is a stunningly horrible public policy to grant a license to this company for that site. Something had to happen to overcome the quite blatant shortcoming of that application. The only thing I know in Texas that has the potential to do that is money in politics." Look, Rick Perry takes this kind of money on a regular basis and does the bidding of his bidders, of his funders and his donors. It's clear as day. But this isn't about Rick Perry. This is about a system that allows him to do that and that allows people to fix the system in favor of companies like this, then go get paid by them. We've got to stop the influence of money in politics. Otherwise, the toxic waste dumps aren't safe. Nothing is safe because these guys can buy our politicians and our regulators at the drop of a hat. And they've totally perverted the free market system. They're nowhere near libertarians or conservatives. In fact, all they want is a monopoly and to pervert the system. All of us, conservatives, libertarians, and liberals, have to get together to stop this, man. We've got to remove money from politics, otherwise we're all doomed.